Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. How's everyone doing this morning? Let me get to my live chat. Y'all, I'm trying not to laugh. This little kitten, Cleo, y'all know I had a problem the other day when I was live. She went in there and got in the bathtub and thought it was a litter box. The only time that she's messed outside of her litter box since I've had her since July 1st, right? Anyways, I decided to keep her out of the bathtub from doing that. I would just leave a little bit of water in the bottom of the tub, just enough, about an inch or less. Anyways, she went in there and jumped in the tub while I was sitting out here, and I heard her crying at the door. I had the door open, and she was soaking wet. Bless her heart. So she's sitting out here on the porch with me drying off. Hey, Linda K, Preschool Granny, Hibiscus, Mike, Clancy, Vicky. And speaking of Cleo, let me just say something to Mr. Todd Smith here. I took down my community post because you pissed me off and I was about to cuss your ass out. Let me tell you something. Cleo is a rescue kitten. She come from a feral colony. My neighbors dumped her off on me. That's how she showed up at my house because they was up there feeding the feral cats, and that's why this one's tame because the feral cat that they feed had kittens on their porch, and they brought this cat and dumped it over the fence on me. That's exactly where it come from. So she's a rescue kitten. If I want to make her a damn wish list, I will. That's not saying I can't afford to take her to the vet or anything. I can. I've spent thousands on vets with my dogs, okay? But I just want to make this clear that I'll do what I want on my channel, okay? If I want to make a wish list for a little kitty, I will. So what? I mean, she wanted a few little extra toys to get her started out in this world. I mean, this cat has beat the statistics. She come from a feral cat colony, and she's got a chance at a decent life. You know, this asshole, he's like, "Don't your husband work?" Well, for number one, I don't got no damn husband, and I'm glad of it. I wouldn't have a husband. Thank you very much. I've got a boyfriend. Yes, he has his own income. And you know what? He told me, he's like, "Celeste, don't make a wish list for that kitty." And I was like, "Well, somebody on TikTok sent me a message and said something about it." So that's how that all got started. He warned me against it. I swear, people are freaking like out there. Like there's YouTubers collecting money, $20,000 for lawyers, producing no receipts. I make a wish list for a little poor rescue kitty for there was some toys on there, nothing over $20, I don't believe, and they act like it's like a crying shame. I mean, they act like it's like, well, you shouldn't ask people. I'm not asking people for money, asshole. I don't I have never in my life asked nobody for no damn money. What in the hell? It was a little wish list for Cleo. And I will continue to post it in my description if I want to. Because this is my channel. This has my social security number to it, and I had to pay taxes on everything I made. Okay? God, that pissed me off. I'm hoping and praying, Hibiscus, that he watches this stream this morning because that really pissed me off. Because for one, this is not like I went and got a cat from somewhere and it's like, oh, let me make a wish list for this cat that I went and got from a shelter. No, 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 no. Anyways, nobody's obligated to look at it, purchase anything. Dawn did. Dawn sent her some litter in a litter box. I finally got the litter from the post office, and we appreciate it so much. Thank you, Dawn. Mike, you tell him. So he said, well, it made me feel bad. So I was like, well, I'll just delete the post. Because I was getting ready to cuss him out. I mean, I was getting ready to lay into him. That post wasn't for him. That was for my friends and community. Jesus. Anyways, let's get off that. We're going to be talking about a honeymoon gone wrong. Now, this case has happened in Fiji. It's going on right now. A woman and man, I believe they're from Memphis, Tennessee, decided to go on a honeymoon there. The wife, let me see what her name is. I've already forgot. Christy Chin Dawson was found dead in the resort hotel room, and her new husband, Bradley Dawson, is being held for her murder in Fiji, and he cannot get a bond right now. I'd say not because he's in a different country. I mean, this couple bought like a little cute house in a nice neighborhood. And the neighbors and her friends said that Christy was so excited to go to Fiji for their honeymoon. And I swear to God, if he didn't allegedly murder her there. Now, it is possible that someone else murdered her and he's being accused of it. I don't know all the facts right now, but this reminded me of let me see what the name of that was. Tina Watson. She died on her honeymoon. She was killed on her honeymoon in Australia, scuba diving, by her husband, Gabe Watson. And I believe they were from Alabama. They've actually got a Lifetime movie about that. New husband, that's what I'm saying. Hey, I will never marry no damn body else as long as I live. And I'll never have another living boyfriend as long as I live. That's just the way it is. If I ever get, you know, things situated in my life and I'm ever like really, really single, um, I'm not never getting married again. I might go on a date with somebody. That's it. They won't be living with me, honey. So here she is. This is Christy Chin Dawson. Let's see what it says. So Christy Chin Dawson was reportedly excited about her honeymoon to Fiji with her husband, Bradley Robert Dawson. Now, Bradley is sitting in a jail cell in the South Pacific, accused of killing his wife. Authorities allege that Bradley, age 38, murdered Christy, 39, while staying at a resort at the Yasawa something other islands. Details are limited about the allegations. The Fiji Sun reports that investigators believe Christy died on July 9th. Her body was reportedly located inside the couple's hotel room. Ladybug swanting out. Prior to their trip, the Memphis couple lived in what has been described as a new home along Elsie Avenue in the city's Cooper Young neighborhood. A neighbor told the television station that Christy was elated about the couple's planned travels to Fiji to celebrate their honeymoon. Christy was a graduate of the University of Tennessee and worked as a pharmacist at a Kroger grocery store. Bradley works for a nonprofit group called Youth Villages, but his employment has presently been suspended. Um, Bradley Dawson was an IT professional at Youth Villages. He has been suspended pending further information. It is our understanding Miss Chin was his wife, and our condolences go out to her family, the nonprofit said in a statement. In an interview with the television station, a lawyer for Bradley declined to discuss the manner of Christie's death, but said his client is innocent. The lawyer did say he is working to secure bond for Bradley, who is scheduled to appear in a court in Fiji on July 27th. Ladybug, go away. She's scratching on the door. I don't want her out here. Let's see what else we can find about this. I clicked on this earlier, and I believe it had his picture. This is the Fiji Sun. Right there he is, cuffed and stuffed. Bradley Robert Dawson at the Magistrates Court in something other, Latoka or something, on July 13th, 2022. Okay. 38-year-old accused Bradley Robert Dawson allegedly murdered U.S. national Christy Chin on the island. So he's charged with one count of murder. So it said, when was this article? July 13th. This said he appeared in court yesterday. The court heard the accused allegedly murdered Chin on July 9th. Dawson is presented by defense counsel. I cannot say that name. I cannot say the magistrate's name either. Bodo Kiss something. No. Told the court that the accused had committed an indictable offense and the case would be transferred to the high court. He further stated that the bail application for the accused had to be made in the high court. They're not going to give this American bond. They're not going to give him bond. Do y'all remember that little girl? I call her little girl. She's about 14 or 15. Her dad was dead. He was like this big jazz star or something. Anyways, her and her mom decided to take I think it was a trip. It was either to Fiji. I think it was Thailand. And that girl secretly got her boyfriend to come over there, and they murdered her mother, put her in a suitcase, rolled her out of the hotel and everything. Anyways, they got caught. They was jailed over there in Thailand. I think the guy is still over there in Thailand prison, but they released that girl, I believe, like last year. And she actually had a daughter while she was in prison. I believe she was pregnant before she was incarcerated. But that's a good documentary to watch. I can't remember their names. Let me see. Let me see what y'all's saying. And I'm going to have to let the little stalker out here. The reason I don't like her come out here is because she likes barking everything. Hold on a minute. I want to go to Turtle Island in Fiji so bad. I want to go swim with them damn pigs in the Bahamas. Hold on, guys. Ladybug, goodness gracious. Poor little Cleo, soaking wet. Well, her feet and tail is. She's sitting over here in my lounge chair. Oh my, he killed her mom. Crazy. Yes. See, her and her mom went on this trip to I believe it's Thailand. And the mom didn't like his boyfriend. He was a bad influence. The girl secretly bought him a plane ticket and he flew, I believe it was from Chicago to Thailand. And they murdered her mom in the hotel room and rolled her out in a suitcase. Hey, Shannon, it's so good to see you. Where you been? Where's your wrench? You must be on your other account because I know you had a rich Bama cat. Some guy raised Cece for having a wish list for a rescue cat. Oh yeah, some guy, some Todd Smith. He's a nobody. I shouldn't let people like that piss me off, but it really pissed me off because this is not like. Hold on a minute. This is not like a cat that I went and got from like a damn rescue and stuff. This is a cat that was just come to my house by the hands of my neighbors. I know that's who did it. I took from its mommy. Oh my gosh. Praetorian purple. Hey, purple. I'm just gonna say purple. Hey, what's up? So anyways, we're gonna keep following this case, see what happens with it. I want to know the evidence they have against this guy because it is entirely possible that someone else, a local, could have murdered her. But I don't know how the laws are over there. But you would think for him to be charged with murder that they had to have some type of evidence. It's a crying shame. It's so weird that you mentioned Ryan Bain this morning because I looked up Sarm Heslop's case. We'll take a look at that because there's no more information on this case. I just wanted to share it with y'all because we're going to follow this case and see what happens with it. So there are no updates about Sarm Heslop, who disappeared from the Virgin Islands, way over a year ago. I think it was like May last year. There's no updates about her case. Ryan Bain, he's just sailing around the damn Caribbean, whatever it's called, with not a care in the world. I was thinking this morning, it'll probably be years from now before he's ever charged with her disappearance. I mean, he had to have done something with her. They was moored 100 foot from shore in the water on his catamaran. Fancy word for yacht, I guess. And he says he woke up, 2 o'clock in the morning to the anchor alarm going off, which was signaling the boat was, drifting a little bit. She was nowhere on the boat. Her ID, purse, all of her belongings, were on the boat. She was nowhere to be found. He only helped search for like one day. He wouldn't let, when she was reported missing, he wouldn't let them search his catamaran. Why not? Your girlfriend goes missing in the middle of the night off a damn boat in the water, and you don't let them search your yacht. Why? Because you're afraid they're going to find some blood spatter or something. He claims that they went to bed at around like 10 o'clock that night. He woke up at 2 a.m. But here's what this big captain did. He called the police and said she was missing from the boat. Now, he's a captain. He knows he had to call the Coast Guard because that's what they told him. You need to call the Coast Guard. And he didn't call the Coast Guard until it was like about 2 o'clock in the morning till like 11 a.m. that morning. Yeah, and he's not helped look for. He won't answer any questions. Of course, they searched the water around the catamaran. There was actually another yacht anchored not far from them. There was no sign of her. The people on that boat, they didn't hear anything that night. Actually, Ryan Bain never even radioed over or hollered over to that captain and asked if he'd seen anything. That captain pulled up anchor that morning and left to take the crew on a fishing trip, and he learned about Sarm's disappearance later that day. Right there's red flags going up. And let's not forget, Ryan Bain was accused, cuffed and stuffed actually, of assaulting his ex wife, who looks a whole lot like Sarm. What was her name? Gosh, I can't remember her name. It's been so long. He absolutely did it. Captains know when they feed the sharks. Yeah, he said that she could have jumped in and went swimming at night and something got her. Hey, she knowed better. She knowed better to get in the water at nighttime because of, the sharks and stuff they feed at night. A lot of them, right? She wouldn't have done that. They had only been together since the pandemic started, and they met on Tinder. And she sailed from, I believe it was Italy, to the Caribbean with some friends, and she started working on Ryan's boat, Siren Song. I reckon he's changed the name of that. Uh, so they hadn't been together that long. She was his chef on his big fancy boat. Let's see what we can find out about this weirdo. I looked this morning. I didn't type his name in. I just typed in Sarms. Ryan Bain now. Where's Sarm Heslop's boyfriend today? This was March 11th, 2022. Okay, let's just click on it and see what it says. Refresh your memories. Let's share this weirdo's photo. And that dog he sails around with on his yacht, that's not even really his dog. That dog's name is Hunter. And he stole that dog from his ex wife's daughter. And he was also mean to his ex wife's daughter when she wasn't around. I'd have kicked his ass out of my damn house for doing that to my child. Okay, there he is. Now he's from Michigan. Ryan Bain reported in March 2021. Ryan Bain reported his girlfriend Sarm Heslop missing, but since then, the case has seen quite a few strange twists, leading to speculation regarding Ryan's involvement in the disappearance. NBC News Deadline Siren Songs delves into circumstances surrounding Sarm's mysterious disappearance and what happened in that case since then. So if you're wondering where Ryan Bain might be today, here's what we know. Get this damn video down. That's killing me. Hailing from Orion something other township, Michigan, Ryan served as a charter captain where he met Sarm Heslop through Tinder in the U.S. Virgin Islands. They began a business and a romantic relationship soon after that. I think he done had that charter business before she come along, and she just, worked as the cook. Okay, soon after that. While Ryan gave tourists tours through the Caribbean, Sarm cooked for the guests. However, around 2:30 a.m. on March 8, 2021, Ryan called authorities to report that Sarm was nowhere on the catamaran. Okay, there's Sarm. At the time, Ryan claimed that he woke up because of the boat's anchor alarm and couldn't find Sarm. They were last seen at a bar on the island in the Caribbean Sea on the night of March 7th. Authorities urged Ryan to call the Coast Guard after saying she might have fallen overboard. However, he made that call almost 9 hours later at around 11:45 a.m. He killed her, and then he took her out on that dinghy boat and done something with her. He took her to an island and buried her. There's all kinds of deserted islands around there, uninhabited. Sarm's friend Andrew Baldwin wasn't so confident of the timeline, adding she would not disappear, leaving no trace. She is savvy and sensible. It's not like her at all. It just doesn't add up. Once the Coast Guard was alerted, a search and rescue operation began. However, they claimed that Ryan didn't let the police search the vessel. The U.S. Coast Guard later issued him citations. However, Ryan's attorney disputed the report, stating that his client was interviewed and that the boat was inspected on site back then. Well, he was a complete asshole when he was drunk, and they had been out to the bar drinking. His ex wife said that, he had this Jekyll and Hyde personality every time he would drink. Actually, his ex-wife and him come from a wedding one time. She was driving him because he was intoxicated, and like she stopped and asked for directions or something like that, and that infuriated him. And when they got home, he ripped her out of the driver's seat, and she was still in her seatbelt. She's a little made woman. And like he bopped her head to the ground and busted her nose and all kinds of stuff. Okay, it later came to light that Ryan had a previous domestic violence conviction from a 2011 assault on his then wife, um, Corey Stevenson. There's a damn squirrel just fall from the tree, y'all. Corey Stevenson alleged that he was physical and verbally abusive. In 2011, Corey stated Ryan became irate after she asked him to help with navigation during a drive back home from a wedding. See, told y'all. Once they got home, he pulled Corey out of the car, tackled her, slammed her face to the ground, leading to a chipped tooth. She said he then turned me over and basically choked me out. And then he went upstairs and went to bed. He went to bed. After Sarm's disappearance, Ryan Bain reportedly refused to be interviewed by police. He was last seen in Grenada, is that how you say that? In the Caribbean in November 2021. Ryan's 47-foot luxury catamaran was listed for sale at the time. Sarm's loved ones worried about the development because it was never forensically examined for any evidence that could help the case. Even if he sells it, they could still go back and examine that boat. I guess. I don't know their laws over there, but I've watched it on Forensic Files. Several different cases where they think that a vehicle was used in a crime. The vehicle's been sold off to different owners, and they will track that vehicle down and send the CSI in there. Okay, let's see. Listed for sale at the time. Okay. There, that weirdo is. He's ugly as sin, and he looks like he fell off the ugly tree and hit every damn branch coming down. I don't know what women see in him. Some of her friends said once the boat is sold, any evidence which could hold any vital clues to Storm's disappearance will be lost forever. That's not necessarily true, but I get what they're saying. And that would be devastating. However, Ryan has maintained his innocence. And his attorney said earlier on, Ryan's only hope is that Storm is found alive and well. Oh, yeah. He knows good and well she's not going to be found alive and well. What woman leaves her purse and all her belongings behind and her damn cigarettes and just disappears off a damn yacht that's moored 100 foot from shore? Now, allegedly, a man walking his, I believe it was a man walking his dog on the beach said he heard a woman screaming. That's hearsay. I guarantee he heard a woman screaming. And isn't it funny, that little bar that they went to, what do you call it, dive bar they went to? Oh, the security cameras weren't working. The electricity had been off. Come back out and it messed the security cameras up. I didn't know when the electricity went off that it tore your security cameras up and you had to buy new ones each time. That don't make no sense. You know what I think? The owner of that bar and Ryan are chummy. Everybody on that island knew him, knows him. Big buddies with everybody. Now, that says a lot about somebody when your girlfriend disappears off of a boat and you won't let them search it. Why not? If you didn't have anything to hide and you didn't harm her, why not let them on that damn boat? The son of a bitch snapped and probably strangled her to death. More strangled, bludgeoned her to death. Maybe that's why he didn't want them on the boat, afraid they might find some blood that he didn't clean up. It cost a fortune to charter his damn little tiny catamaran. Looks small as hell to me. I mean, if I was a rich person and I wanted to go out on a boat, I wouldn't choose no damn little one like that, would y'all? Hell no, I wouldn't. Okay, let's see what else. Let me go here. Hey, Cheryl T. It's all right if you're late. Let me catch my live chat up here. That is so weird. Like, with StreamYards, it only shows the top chat. So I always have to pull up YouTube and mute it, right? But when I go to my different pages on my laptop and go back to my YouTube, the chat's behind. It's so weird. Clancy, no doubt he most definitely took us one of those deserted islands out there and buried her. There's islands in the Caribbean that haven't had a human population since 1700s. Exactly. And all the locals, it's a small community. They were out looking for Sarm, and some of them even said that if she was put into the ocean, there would have been evidence that washed upon shore. Now, the sharks, I know people think, oh, the sharks would have devoured her. That's not necessarily true. Look at Lacey Peterson, y'all. She was thrown into the San Francisco Bay, and she was weighted down with like a cement block, allegedly. Um, okay, so when her body started to decompose and build up gas, that gas started making the body rise, and it, I guess, ripped loose. It ripped her body loose. You know what I mean? Like tore it apart because she was anchored down. That would have happened to Sarm too. The Natalie Wood defense. Really? Oh, I remember the Natalie Wood case. I think that happened before I was even freaking born. That guy, as sure as I'm sitting here, what's his name? Allegedly, he's a movie star. I believe he damn sure did kill her. He was jealous. Not gonna lie, as a Michigan that sees what these lakes can do, I'm pretty scared of the ocean. Lake Michigan will pick you off from the boardwalks and kill you. Yeah. Yeah, I've always wanted to go up there to Lake Michigan. They say that's like the damn ocean there. Let's see. Like I said, guys, this guy probably thinks that he's got away with this, but he's not. It might be years down the road, but he's going to be cuffed and stuff for this eventually. Hopefully, he does sell that damn boat. And then the new owners let investigators come aboard it. Let me see. Let's pull up his ex-wife's picture here. She looks so much like Sarm. Little, blonde. Um, Now, I know a lot of people could say, well, maybe she jumped off the boat, swam to shore to get away from him. He was an abuser and ran away. She would have contacted her family that lives in the UK. She would have contacted her friends and stuff eventually. So there's his ex-wife. It's not very clear. And there's Sarm. And you can't really see, but there you see that dog nose. That belongs to the ex-wife. That dog Hunter belongs to the ex-wife. So what happened was they was going, lady, stop that. They was going through a divorce. He showed up at the house even though she had a restraining order. The dog, which belonged to her daughter, ran out the door. And do you know the cops didn't even arrest him and they let him take that dog? Yeah, now it's sailing all around the Caribbean, living its best life, which is great. I'm glad the dog's got a good life, but it wasn't his dog to take. It makes me think if you'll abuse a woman, you'll abuse an animal too, right? Piece of crap. And he wouldn't have took my dog. I'd have went and stowed that damn thing back. He had all night. He could have taken her far out in the water, and then he came back and anchored in close, pretending like she jumped out there. Yeah. Clancy, I live on the Gulf Coast. It's a crying shame, and Galveston Bay is littered with shipwrecks going all the way back to the day of the Spanish. Oh my gosh, that would be so cool to go and visit. Hold on a minute, guys. I'm going to have to put Lady in because the squirrels are taunting her. One just tried to commit suicide. Come on. Come on. You can make out later. Good girl. Oh my gosh, guys, these animals drive me crazy. I sincerely doubt that he takes good care of the dog on the boat. I guess, that'd be all right living on a boat with an animal, but, he's just so particular about his boat. You can't, most of these boats, you can't wear shoes on or anything. Just imagine how he is over at dog hair, you know? I'd have me a redneck come come apart over my fur baby. Oh, me too. Me too. I would have took him to court over that. He wouldn't have gotten by with that. He used to allegedly get up in her daughter's face and scream. Because what was it? It was something about batteries in a remote control he got mad about. And there his Hyde personality came out and he was up in that child's face screaming, which that girl's an adult now. And a lot of the stuff that he did to her, she did not tell her mom until, after the divorce and when she was 18, which is sad. I mean, he never like sexually abused her, but he mentally abused her. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we can talk about. Oh, I was going to tell y'all about, since we were talking about honeymoon killers. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all this case from Alabama. Some of y'all may have seen the Lifetime movie. Listen to that lady scratch. She don't take no for an answer. Let me see if I can find his. Right here he is. Gabe Watts. I believe his name's Gabe. Her name's Tina. Facts about the death of Tina Watson and her honeymoon killer husband's trial. On October 22nd, 2003, David Gabe Watson and Christina Tina Watson were on their honeymoon in Australia when Tina died within the first hour of their 7-day scuba diving expedition. The case quickly hit the media, particularly after Gabe was arrested on suspicion of having murdered his new wife. Although the death of Tina Watson was ruled a drowning by an Australian pathologist, it was unclear whether or not it was an accident. In the courts of Australia, honeymoon killer David Watson pleaded guilty to manslaughter. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison. Once he was released, he moved back to his home state of Alabama, where once again he stood trial for murder. In the end, the scuba diving murder went unresolved in the American justice system, as the case against Gabe was dismissed. Read below on how to learn more about the fascinating tale. They were married for only 11 days before she died, supposedly due to air embolism. Is that how you say that? Look, he got her to go scuba diving, guys. She was terrified of water, but he insisted that they go scuba diving. And before they went on their honeymoon, he took out a big life insurance policy. But since, the case was dismissed in Alabama because it happened in Australia. Tina and David Watson were only married for 11 days before she tragically died. An autopsy was conducted on Tina's body after the incident. The pathologist found that she had suffered an air embolism that led to her drowning. Air embolisms occur when air bubbles end up in either an artery or a vein. The blood flow causes heart attacks, respiratory failure, and a number of other deadly conditions. When scuba diving, either holding your breath for too long or heading to the surface of the water too quickly can cause the lungs' air sacs to rupture, which causes the embolism to form. The pathologist concluded that this is what happened to Tina. Let me tell you something. He separated them from the scuba diving team that was underwater. He wanted them to go their own way. It says Gabe took an odd picture of his new wife next to a sign that said "Caution, drowning." This is before she drowned. According to Amanda Phillips, a friend of Tina's, once Gabe arrived back in the United States a widower. He had some photos of their trip. He showed these pictures after his wife's funeral service. One image that stuck with her seemed ominous, given the circumstances around Tina's death. It showed Tina next to a sign that read, "Caution, drowning." Phillips talked about this while testifying on the stand against Gabe during his trial in America. He gave 16 different versions of the events that led to Tina's death. 11 days after she married that son of a bitch, he killed her. He didn't even like try to do CP when she was brought back up to the surface and stuff. From what I can remember about the case, I mean, he didn't seem panicked. He didn't try no CPR or nothing. According to Australian authorities, Gabe gave 16 different accounts of what happened the day that Tina died. Some of them, she panicked while underwater, knocked his mask off, while in others, there were problems with his dive computer that he had to fix on the surface, causing them to be isolated from other divers in the group. Authorities and even the people who were with him on the tragic diving expedition questioned his many accounts of the incident, which made them think that he was guilty. Several other divers witnessed his actions and even photographed her lying at the bottom of the ocean. I don't know if y'all can see, but right there is her body. Tina and Gabe weren't alone in the ocean that day. Other divers, part of the same group that they were in, were also there, and some had dive cameras that took video footage of the couple. The same divers told authorities that Gabe was behaving strangely while rescuers were trying to uh, resuscitate his wife and was asking them for hugs. What a weirdo. At first, he even, who would be thinking about a hug when they're right there trying to save your wife? At first, he even told them she had a headache, then acted shocked when they informed him that she was dead, according to them. He definitely wasn't acting like someone who was worried about his wife. And he sure didn't act like it when he got back to Alabama either. Um he was photographed by police destroying flowers that were left on his deceased wife's grave. Ladybug. She is so persistent, y'all, to get out here. He was a certified rescue diver, yet he didn't try to save his own wife. Look how beautiful. And also, he remarried not long after he got back from the States because he had to do, like, I believe, like 15 months in jail or something. He remarried someone that looks similar to Tina. Gabe Watson was an experienced diver who had also been certified as an open water scuba diver, an advanced diver, rescue diver, and specialty diver. This contradicts his story that he was shocked and unable to act properly when his new wife knocked his diving mask off his face while in a state of panic. I say she did knock it off his face because he was doing something to her air hose. Rescue diver training covers how to deal with panic divers, emergency equipment, and managing the stress levels in other scuba divers. Based on his training alone, he should have been able to notice the signs of Tina's stress levels and bring her safely back to the surface. He planned all this, guys. He planned all this. She was terrified of water. I mean, her dad and her family just couldn't believe that she drowned, that she actually went scuba diving because she did not like water. So Gabe was spotted by authorities destroying flowers left on his late wife's grave. That right there's a grieving husband. Hold on a minute, guys. Ladybug, you were supposed to go sit down, young lady. And you're not going to eat my squirrels. Gosh, that's all she thinks about. She's trying to get a squirrel. After Tina died, her husband Gabe and her parents got into a bit of a feud regarding her gravesite. This accumulated in Gabe being caught on police video desecrating the flowers left behind by her tombstone. The flowers had been chained to the ground near where her body lay, so Gabe used a bolt cutter to chop them into little pieces. Later, when speaking to the media, he had two different excuses for his actions. First, he said that he was still grieving for her. Yeah, because we know people that grieve for their loved ones rip their flowers apart, desecrate their grave. We know that. Idiot. Okay. Two different excuses. First, he said he was grieving for her. Then he claimed that the flowers were large and gaudy and that she wouldn't have liked them. Her parents had placed the chains there because Gabe kept showing up and removing the flowers they left behind. There was also issues with Gabe's dive computer. Gabe had issues with his dive computer shortly after their 7-day dive expedition began. Witnesses remember Gabe resurfaced to fix his dive computer shortly after going into the water. A dive computer is a wristwatch like device that tracks depths, times, and oxygen levels, among other things. Apparently, the battery on his device was in backwards, causing it to beep. He had to borrow a coin from a fellow diver on the surface in order to open the battery door and fix the problem. The dive computer wound up being a bone of contention between Gabe and Australian police. They confiscated his in order to examine his data, then refused to give it back to him because it became evidence in the case. Gabe was rather unhappy to hear that he wouldn't get the device back. I mean, if your wife accidentally drowned on y'all's honeymoon, you had nothing to do with it. You wouldn't care if they took your stupid wristwatch. And that's basically all it is. Look at that. So he did end up pleading guilty to involuntary manslaughter in Australia. In 2008, Australian authorities had enough of a case to bring Gabe to trial for the death of his wife. He decided to forego a jury or bench trial and pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter due to negligence. Gabe received a sentence of 4 years in prison, but only wound up serving 18 months. The police in Queensland, Australia believed that Gabe hugged his wife while under the water, turning off her oxygen in the process. This led her to suffocate. After she was dead, he turned the air back on and swam to the surface to get help. He's guilty as sin. Prosecutors claim he killed her for life insurance money, but her father was the beneficiary. One of the claims, he had a policy out on her too, I'm pretty sure. One of the claims that both Australian and U.S. prosecutors made was that Gabe killed Tina in order to receive her life insurance policy. She reportedly had a $130,000 policy through her employment, but her father was the beneficiary. He also had a travel insurance policy in her name that he believed he would receive between both policies. Gabe would have received around $210,000. That is the policy I'm talking about, the travel insurance policy. He took that out like right before they left for that honeymoon. His defense team claimed that there were discrepancies in the insurance amount, with her employment life insurance set at 33. Um, is it 33,000, and the travel one at 45. But both would have still added up to a pricey payout. Had he actually received them. Gabe also fought with Tina's parents in order to get back the engagement ring that he gave her, but to no avail. Hell, I forgot about that. That was in the movie too. So, unfortunately, he was indicted for her murder in the United States, but those charges were dismissed. Let me see what it says. Gabe was indicted for Tina's murder in the U.S., but his case wound up being dismissed. Double jeopardy, being tried twice for the exact same crime, didn't apply since he was charged for the crime in two different countries. The Alabama grand jury indicted him for murder, for precarious or something other gain, and kidnapping where a felony occurred. He stood trial in 2012, 9 years after Tina's death, and to the shock of Tina's family, when Gabe's defense attorney requested that the charges be dropped due to lack of evidence, the judge concurred. It didn't help that the judge had already refused to allow a reenactment of the situation conducted by the Australian authorities to be admitted as evidence for the prosecution. In the end, Gabe, who was already remarried to a woman who looked a lot like Tina, walked free. And he's still free to this day, guys. Still free to this day. Now, he takes these people's daughter on a honeymoon, and she dies. And what does he want? He wants the damn engagement ring back. They didn't give it back to him. I'm telling you, there's a lot of weirdos. Yes, he was knitting artist, and he was cleared in the United States. Now, he done 18 months in Australia for involuntary manslaughter. When he come back to the States, they tried to charge him, for murder here, and it just, no, it was dismissed. And probably because it was He it happened in another country. How you gonna charge someone for murder in the United States, when they killed someone in Australia? There needs to be some kind of, like, national law or something. I know it's not possible, but some kind of agreement between countries or something about situations like this. Um, I believe I why on earth did he marry her? Okay, you just said it, life insurance. Yeah, I think he married her for life insurance. I think it's what happened is he really didn't want to marry her at all, and he wanted out of it, and plus he was greedy. Yeah. He wanted to collect on that travel insurance. They tried to claim, "Oh, the dad got her insurance money." Well, that is correct. He got the insurance money from her employment, but Gabe was going to get the insurance money from the travel insurance policy, which he didn't end up getting that. Thank God. Thank God. 18 months. Clearly, that was not involuntary. That was intentional. Yes, she didn't even want to go scuba diving. Like I said, she was terrified of the water, and he convinced her. And how ironic is that he took a picture of her underwater like a few days before, and it said something like caution drowning or something with a sign. Isn't that crazy? There is insurance fraud. They could, hey, good point, Knitting Armisen. Good point. He has no shame, yeah. And can you believe him ripping up flowers from his uh deceased wife's grave? Said his excuse they was too gaudy. I believe I've watched the actual video of him doing that. That his wife wouldn't have liked the flowers. Oh bullcrap. He didn't. He was mad because everybody was talking about this case and he'd been in trouble for it. And he wasn't gonna get no insurance money, and he was pissed off and still pissed off at his deceased wife. That's why he desecrated her grave. Her father tried to warn his new bride, but she wouldn't listen. She stood right behind him. People's crazy, guys. Hey, beware. Beware. Somebody wants to take you on the honeymoon out of the country and gets insurance on you before you go. There should be a way that a person could look up, see if anybody's took an insurance policy out on them. You know, I don't know if she knew about that policy or not, but you would think it's like if somebody wants life insurance on me, you would think that you would have to have my signature to do that. You would think. It's a psychopath, yep. And he's living in Alabama. Y'all beware, Gabe Watson. Anybody that lives out that way. Ripping up flowers seems like a sign he still had some rage issues. Yeah, he was pissed off at her that she just didn't die and go away and, you know, she caused him all this trouble. He wanted her just dead and just go away. Case closed, nobody speak about it. But her dad caused a fuss. Her parents did, especially her dad. If y'all never watched The Honeymoon Killer on Lifetime, you need to. Let me see if I can find that movie. This is based on the story, and it's pretty accurate too, based on the facts. Let's see. He's ugly as shit too. I know looks don't matter, but I'm just saying he's ugly as hell. Let me look for it on YouTube. Honey Moon Killer movie. It might not be on here. Deadly Honeymoon. Let me see. Fatal Honeymoon. Maybe that's it. I believe this is just the sneak peek of the movie. Let me see. I'll put the link in there. Maybe I can find it. I've watched it on the Lifetime a lot. Where in Alabama? That's a good question. Let me see. It might have said, y'all know my mind. I forget something as soon as I say it. Abe Watson, 34. Let's see. Let me look and see. I don't think it said. It just says Alabama. I'm not sure where. Y'all remember that girl that pushed her husband, his husband or boyfriend, out their apartment window and it fell to his death? Y'all remember that one? Okay, so Tina's parents are okay. I don't see it. It just says Alabama. Let me ask where he's from. Okay, Watson. It was in what? Okay, let me see. Just pulled up a football player. I'm not sure where he lived at. I can't find it. Here's what that weirdo looks like now. Hold on. They were married. I can see the high-rise apartment from where I work. Oh, yes. What was her name, Hibiscus? I forgot her name. She ended up dying. She died what? Last year or year before? So there the honeymoon killer is. Let's see. Here's a picture of them both. Let's see. They was underwater there. Let's see. And she was way too pretty for him. Look at him, y'all. I know beauty's skin deep, but he's just ugly to me. Because I know, to me, even if he was like the best looking thing in the world, he would still be ugly to me because I know what he did. He can say that he didn't drown her if he wants to, but there was evidence that he did that. Y'all have to go watch the documentary to figure out all the evidence the Australian authorities had against him. But there was some way that they could tell that he hugged her and undone her oxygen thing, and then after she was dead, he plugged it back up somehow. Hooked it back up, I mean. Anyways, y'all, I've got to be getting off here in just a minute. I'll chat with y'all another minute or so. I've got to get off here and check on my kitty. Oh, well, never mind. She's right here asleep. I forgot she is out here. I forgot she is out here. Oh, I've got some laundry to do. I gotta get Timothy's laundry done. He's going to my mom's for a few days. He stays with me about all the time now. Yeah. Which I shouldn't be talking about him on here because all these freaking weirdos. Hold on a minute. Amber Hilberland or something like that. Happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Looks like he's been beat with an ugly stick. I've not heard that in a long time. Hey guys, I'm sorry I'm so late. I missed. Oh, it's all right, Broken Justice. Her husband was Josh Hilberling. Yeah, they had a toxic relationship, didn't they? I don't really think that she meant to push him out that window and kill him. I think she pushed him and he went out the window. That's just me. Now, I don't know all the whole facts of the case, but based on what I've seen and watched, I don't think she was like, I'm going to kill this son of a bitch and push him out this window. I don't think it happened like that. I think they were arguing and she pushed him and he went out the window. I live in Oklahoma, 45 minutes away from Tulsa. Oh, I've always wanted to go to Oklahoma. Isn't that where oh my gosh, Toby Keithley is from Oklahoma? He's got cancer, y'all. Toby Keith's got cancer. The crime scene photos show just how thin that glass was. Yeah, I think she had actually been to like the apartment manager complaining, maybe her or someone else in the building, about how thin those windows are. There is no way I would want to live that far up with small children and big windows like that. No way. No way. I live in Tulsa, grew up in Broken Arrow. I've heard of that, Broken Arrow. I'd love to come out west, y'all. I would. My granny and her sister, my Aunt Mabel, that passed away from breast cancer. After my papa died, they used to go out west road trip every fall until my aunt got sick and she could, wasn't able to go. But they would go to Montana, Texas, California, Oklahoma, Nevada, New Mexico. I mean, they would be gone 6 to 8 weeks. They might have not made all those states in the first trip, but I know they went to several. My granny even went to a Navajo reservation, and there was a man and wife there she had her picture made with, and they had a little cute baby. It's adorable. But I would love to go out there. I want to go to one of the old West towns. That's what I want to go to. Pretty sure I passed through Broken Arrow a long time ago when I visited Tulsa. I'd love to go there. Yeah, Toby Keith is from Oklahoma. I got to see his house on Mother's Day. My husband delivers furniture. There it was. Amazing. His house is beautiful. Oh, I bet. And he is just like so down to earth and he's so patriotic. He's a little bit of a redneck. I love Toby Keith. Should have been a cowboy. It's one of my favorite songs. And what is the other one? He Ain't Worth Missing. I like that one. And I like that one by him and Willie Nelson. What was that called? I can't remember. I tell you who I'm liking. I'm liking old Jelly Roll, that big heavy set man that sings that song Save Me. Come here, lady. I like him. He's kind of country pop, kind of. I guess that's what you would call it. Cece, you live in the most wonderful place there is. I want to retire there. I mean, I'm retired, but my husband isn't, and I want to live there. That's what Sapphire said. She absolutely loved it down here. I guess it's just where I've grown up here. There's not like a whole lot to do here, but we have like a lot of outdoor things to do. Like you can go zip line and we got parks to go to. I mean, I like it here, but it's just, I don't know. I like to see different places. I'd like to see the flat areas, like the deserts, because I've been in the mountains all my life. It's nice here. It's peaceful. I mean, you don't got to worry about, walking down the street and somebody damn grabbing you and raping you. I mean, I guess it could happen anywhere, but I'm just saying, you hardly ever hear of anything like that happening around here. Now, we have had some cases of child abuse and kids being killed. We have. Oh, I love Jelly Roll. Beer for my horses. I love that song, Vicky. Have you, Lisa Irwin? I watched Jelly Roll on TikTok and his wife or girlfriend Bunny. Damn, she is pretty as she can be. But she's had a lot of work done to her. But she is pretty and she seems to love old Jelly Roll. But I'm really worried about him. I think about this all the time. He is so overweight. He's such a sweetheart, but he is so overweight that, he's probably got diabetes. He could have a heart attack. I just, I just fear that he might have a heart attack and die young. Like, oh my gosh, who is that guy that plays in Uncle Buck I like? Not Chevy Chase. Oh crap, I can't remember his name. But he died pretty young from a heart attack, I believe. If I could ever take any pictures, they wouldn't let me take them last time. But if I can take pictures or anything, I will get them for you. Oh yeah. John Candy. John Candy. I love John Candy, but I believe he died of a heart attack because he was overweight. I like that movie Summer Rental. And I also like the movie he plays in where they rent a cabin for the summer. I can't remember what that one was called. Yeah, I like John Candy. You know what, guys? I think some of the movies back from the 80s and early 90s are a lot better than the movies now. Like, I'm not a big comedy person, but I love John Candy. And there was another guy with blonde hair, heavy set, I liked. I think he died. He might have died of a drug overdose, though. Anyways, anyways. John Candy was awesome. Uncle Buck was great. Yes. And Summer Rental. If you've never watched Summer Rental, John Candy, watch it. It's funny too. Um, he goes on vacation with his family, like to Florida, and he has it out with this guy that lives there. Um, anyways, it's funny. It's funny. I love movies like that. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna get off here. Y'all have a good day. And I will see y'all in the morning, Lord willing. If nothing happens, if nothing comes up, I will be live in the morning around 10:30 or 11. I'll set the stream up before time, of course. Anyways, thanks for chatting with me. I think this has been a good live stream this morning. We've talked about some interesting cases. And the first case we talked about, the Christy, what was her name? Was it Watson? No, Christy. Ah, crap. I'm going to have to go back and look. Anyways, we're going to be following that case. Miss Chin, I believe they called her. To see what happens with this guy in Fiji. See what kind of evidence they got against him. See if he's going to get a bail, which I doubt he is, considering he's from the United States. Dawson, thank you. Thank you, it's Crime Shame. I forget. I forget names. It's my PTSD, guys, I think. And my mania. I'm a little hyper this morning. I get to talking real fast and I'll forget what I say. Anyways, love you guys. Be safe. Be kind. Peace. Dawson was her married name. Chin is her maiden name. Yeah, they're from Memphis. We'll have to see if he had some insurance money out on her, or if he just snapped and killed her, or if he even killed her. Like I said, there's been a lot of tourists killed at resorts by the locals, by a local person. So we just don't know. Remember, Cece, I leave today, so I'll see you next week. Okay, preschool granny, prayers, honey, safe travels. Be safe out there, and y'all take y'all some protection with you on your trip, okay? See you, knitting artisan. See you guys. Peace.